Na chanta na bahiryasya na purvam na picha param purva param bahichanta jagato yo jagatya chayaha tam atvatmajam avyaktam matyalingam adokshajam gopi kolu kale dhamna babandha prakratmata. He is not under the influence of the element of time. For him, there is no difference between past, present, and future. He exists his own transcendental form at all times. Being absolute, beyond relativity, he is free from distinctions between cause and effect. Although he is the cause and effect of everything, that manifested person who is beyond the perception of the senses had now appeared as a human child. And Mother Yashoda, considering him her own ordinary child, bound him to the wooden mortar with a rope. It's purport. In Bhagavad Gita 10:12, Krishna is described as the Supreme Brahman, Param Brahma, Param Dhamma. The word Brahman means the greatest. Krishna is greater than the greatest, being unlimited and all-pervading. How can it be possible for the all-pervading to be measured or bound? Then again, Krishna is the time factor. Therefore, he is all-pervading not only in space, but also in time. We have measurements of time, but although we are limited by past, present, and future, for Krishna, this does not exist. Every individual person can be measured, but Krishna has already shown that although he also is an individual, the entire cosmic manifestation is within his mouth. All these points considered, Krishna cannot be measured. How then did Yashoda wants to measure him and bind him? We must conclude that this took place simply on the platform of pure transcendental love. This was only cause. Advaitam achyutam anadi manantarupam madhyam purana purusham navayavanam cha. Vedescha durlabam adurlabam atma bhaktam govindam adi purusham tamham bhajami. It's from Brahma Samhita 5:33. Everything is one because Krishna is the supreme cause of everything. Krishna cannot be measured or calculated by Vedic knowledge. Vedesha durlabam. He is available only to devotees. Adurlabam atma bhaktau. Devotees can handle him because they act on the basis of loving service. Bhaktayamam abhijayantiyam. Yes chamchi tathavata. Thus, Mother Yashoda wanted to bind him. So, Hare Krishna. So usually, today I'm going to speak something about the pastimes of Lord. Because usually we think, different religious perspective, we have different opinion. How God can, or why a God has to come to this planet. Now, what is the purpose? He doesn't need to come, right? Actually, we think that's true. A superintendent of the person, a CEO of a company, he doesn't need to go every, who can corner of his company. But he knows everything. But God comes just to please his devotees, by looking at his activities, childhood pastimes or adulthood pastimes or older age pastimes, and we can see and we can get attracted. And this is the reason God comes actually. God comes in different time, place, and circumstances based on the people. So most of the time, we think actually, what is the difference between a devotee, a person who is practicing a devotion as a religion, or the person in general? We think like, what is the difference? There is no much difference actually, externally spoken. Everything is same relatively. Person who is practicing God consciousness and Krishna consciousness, we call it, he eats and he works. Actually, he maintains the family. Of course, there are certain ways actually. One can become a monk or one can become a family man based on his own choice. But the question is how we practiced. So this can be done by the religious, understanding the religious books. Here we have Srimad Bhagavatam, we calls in our text. This Srimad Bhagavatam is all about God. It talks about his incarnations, his pastimes, what he has done, and this book is all about that God. And by reading regularly, because we are not, we were not participating in his God pastimes when he came, we were not that time there. Therefore, what we can do, we can simply, by actually reading those books, we can, by reading regularly, then we can get the taste. And then it says in Sanskrit, one of the oldest language in the world, Nasta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. That means by regularly reading about God activities, we can actually, our heart get purified. Naturally, our heart is actually kind of contaminated with that due to attachment or due to contact with the material nature. We are not matter in one sense. We can say that, we are not matter, we are spirit. So even it says, actually, what is the general people in terms of understanding? There is a three different analogies. The fortunate one is the person who get the opportunity of the devotees association. And what is the more fortunate? The more fortunate is the same person hear about God consciousness in the association of the devotees. And what is the most fortunate? Most fortunate is the one who hear the God consciousness or God's activities in the devotees association again and again. That person is the most fortunate person. Even when Lord Krishna, we just close our curtain, behind the curtain, there are two personalities, Krishna and Balram. When Lord Chaitanya was in the 500 years back, he came as the incarnation of God, and then he was giving the example how a person can be. And he himself, though he himself a God, still he went to a normal person like a Ramanandara, a person, a businessman. He says, like, oh my Ramanandarai, please talks about God consciousness. He says, please talks about God consciousness. I want to hear again and again. And then there is one more personality, Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur is one of the greatest acharya. He says, he even showing the example. He says, Jnanalambaka lambaka kevit Krishna lambaka vehanto aridasanam padatrana avalambaka. He says that means a person in general, some people goes to a jnanis. Jnanis actually the intellectual class of people. Intellectual class, because we want to exchange some knowledge, hear about what is going on, what is the higher intellectual things. And some people go and take their association. And some people go to the karmis. Karmis actually is theist people. Atheist people, we can say that. People never believe in God. And there is but what he is saying, actually, I want to take the shelter of the devotees. Even I want to take the shelter of take their shoes. Why the shoes? Because there is a dust from their feet. And I want to take that shelter. By taking that shelter, actually, I get to know about God. That is the only association we can say is, we can judge ourselves by having the friends, whom you are associating with. By looking at our friends, we can say that whom you are. And then even it says Krishna also Bhaktavatsala. What is a Bhaktavatsala? Bhaktavatsala is someone is very pleasing to his devotees. Sometimes it says it's very difficult to align with the plan of the devotees. And even difficulty then there is to align the plan of the God. And how we can make a proper connection with the God by through the association of the devotees. And in this Kartik-month, actually from Tuesday onwards, we will be having a special month where Lord Krishna came as a small boy and he did wonderful pastimes. So this month is the only month actually we celebrate 1 month, 30 days, where we go every day, we sing, we just light the lamps to God. And there are so many pastimes in this month. And then I would like to talk something about what he has done in this month. And then what is the lessons, actually. I'm not going into the details. It's a big pastimes where when he was a child, a small boy, he was doing all the naughty things. And then one day what happened when mother, he was asking the mother for breastfeeding. And then mother says, okay, come, I will give you some milk. And then, while the little Krishna is drinking milk, and she forgot, actually, there is a special milk. She kept it for Krishna in the kitchen. And she thought, oh, even service to God is important, but no, service to God is more important than even God. So she just kept as Krishna aside, and she went to kitchen, and then by turn it off the stove, and then by looking at this, God got so upset. How you can do that? I left everything, and then I came here just to enjoy, just to get your loving association, but you simply thinking like, I'm an ordinary person, you are not taking care of much. And then, he went outside, breaking all the pots, just feeding all the monkeys. And mother got so much upset with that, and she started chasing him and trying to binding him. Nobody, it says, when we just read before, nobody can bind God. But this little village girl, she's trying to bind Krishna with his, her efforts. So this is the basic pastimes in this Kartik-month we celebrate, Damodara month. So what are the lessons we actually can understand from these pastimes? Now there are 6 important essences from Srimad Bhagavatam it talks about. The number 1 essence is actually it's understanding Krishna's divine mystery and then humility. So in this pastime, even Mother Yashoda could not understand Krishna fully. Because, she is simple village woman. She is always thinking, this person, little boy is my son. She doesn't know he is the supreme personality of Godhead, took birth in his family. So, and she is trying to understand him. Acharya says, the teacher says, we cannot grasp God, we cannot give the attention to God with our intelligence, whatever we have the material intelligence. We can only attract the God with our sincerity and faith. And then, and when Krishna took birth, he's supposed to transfer to another place. As we know, many familiar thing, he has to go to another village. As soon as he born, he was telling his father, Vasudev, he's saying, my dear father, please take me to another village. Because there are some enemies, his uncle was trying to harm him. And then what is the track record of Vasudev? Vasudev's track record was, he was very, very unsuccessful man. He could not even protect his wife. He could not able to protect his children when they are born. So this is a track record of Vasudev. But Krishna is telling, please, take me there. And this is the one example, but Vasudeva didn't say, why me? He had full faith on God's words, and they just took this as a mission to take Krishna from that place. So, and then in one sense it says, anything in this world we take shelter, actually take our, makes us shelterless. This is what we have to understand. And then also humility also to understand that humility means not being humble. Humility means actually to understand how great God is, and then how in a kind of useless we are in one sense. Many times we think we can do many things, but we cannot do anything. There is a story in New York, in ISKCON. They were sued in ISKCON like it was thinking a cult religion. It was cult religion means all of a sudden it came, started brainwashing the youth many years ago. And then the court case came. And then our Acharya Srila Prabhupada, he was there that time. Then the temple president, the temple president of the New York, he went to Srila Prabhupada and says, oh, Srila Prabhupada, they sued us, thinking like, we are a cult religion that, we just, brainwashing the youth, or, people. And Srila Prabhupada says, you go and, put your presentation in the court. And this person said, Srila Prabhupada, I am college dropout. How can I argue in the court case? I cannot do anything. And Srila Prabhupada says, take the Srimad Bhagavatam and, start read Srimad Bhagavatam. And the court hearing starts first day. The opposition party came, and this person was there. And the judge says, what is your presentation? And this temple president started reading first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. It went on 2 hours. Everyone got so much, bored. And then judge says, how much time it will take more? And they said, we have more evidence. More. And next day it's again begin. And it went on for 2 hours. And then after 1 week, the judge got, disappointed. I said, how much evidence you have more? And he said, out of 18,000 verses, I recited only 1,000 verses. And we still have 70,000 more. And the judge actually consulted one of his intellectual friend from the library, New York library, and they came to the conclusion, this ISKCON, this Hare Krishna movement is not a cult religion. It is actually a very bona fide religion coming from all the way thousands of years. This is not an ordinary religion, and that court case was actually cancelled. And this is one of the greatest thing in our Hare Krishna movement to understand. And the second main quality we can understanding is cultivating the love and compassion in our spirituality, but not with the not to glorify ourselves. Many times people think, what is a real devotional service? What is devotion? What is devotee? What is a real devotional service? Real devotional service is actually, we should understand, we are not the controller of anything in this world. We are not the proprietor of anything. We are not the actually enjoyer. We may think we are the enjoyer in one sense. Minute way, we might be all these three things. Yeah, probably we can control certain things. We can maybe enjoy certain things, but we cannot do full thing. And this is actually, quantity is very small, whatever we are doing according to God, but we are not quality the same, similar with the God. So this is what we have to understand. Once we understand this methodology, and whatever achievement we do, whatever great achievements we have, we simply think like, we are actually insignificant in these efforts. And then there is another, I would like to bring one more story. What is that? Compassion and love. One of our great book distributor in Australia, this devotee was doing the book distribution in the airport for some hours. And he was trying to convince the people, because usually we go outside with our books. Nobody wants to take these books. Nobody wants to take the religious books, obviously. As soon as you go with some books, and people immediately think, no, we don't want these books. But somehow this person, this devotee, was successfully giving out to the people. And there was one man looking at him. And after some time, he went to this devotee and says, I see that last few hours, you are trying to give to the people that they are not wanted to take. So I have a job, I have a so-and-so, head of the company, I have a sales manager position in that company. Why don't you come and take it? And this devotee looked at him and says, do you have Bhagavad Gita? Says, I don't have Bhagavad Gita. This person doesn't know what is Bhagavad Gita even. Bhagavad Gita is actually one of our discussion, conversation between God and then is one of his devotee. So this person wanted to make him as a sales manager in his company, and then he took the book. And then they exchanged the contact details, and then they went away. After some days, this person called again this devotee and says, did you think about my proposal? Yeah, I'm still thinking about it, but do you have Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita? That person doesn't know what he's talking about. Just to keep the relationship, I said, okay, I will take it. Please send me, and I will send you the check. And then after some time, this person again called him and says, what you're thinking about my job offer? This person said, see, we are not doing business. Devotees, usually, we don't do business. My spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, actually spent day and night to give this knowledge to the people in general with a great compassion at the very old age, at the age of 80 years. So I am convinced this knowledge changed me. And then I'm very sure about this same information, same knowledge can be useful for many people. So therefore, I am doing it out of love for my spiritual master. And this person said, we are not doing business. This is the pure love we are giving to the people in general. And then the next proposal is accepting the karmic circumstances. When we are as a devotee, there are so many situations we have to deal in day-to-day life. Even one of our great teacher, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj says, in this world, nothing is going according to our plan. Nothing will happen according to your plan. Everything is happening because of Lord's plan. He is the controller of everything, circumstances happening. So, by accepting difficult situation and steadily with the proper mind, we can actually make our difficult situations into a growth for spiritual advancement in one sense, why it's happening to me. Why it's happening to me, instead of thinking like, and imagine when we come to temple, soon we will be serving out nice feast after like 45 minutes. When you are taking nice feast and rasagulla, you put it in your mouth and suddenly you bite your tongue whom you blame? When you are eating rasagulla, by biting yourself, you cannot blame anyone in one sense, Whom you blame? This is all, karmic situation. Karmic, karma, is taking place in every situation. We have to accept this reality. So if we can understand karmic circumstances in our day-to-day activities, anything's against changing to us, coming towards us, if we can take in a positive way, this can be a stepping stone to our spiritual path. And there is one more story I want to tell. In the Vietnam War, one of our ISKCON devotee was sent to war in America between America and Vietnam, sometime 1970s. So this devotee was going there, and then he was started reading all this this knowledge, spiritual books and all this thing, but somehow he had to go to war. And then when the war is going on, everyone is shot down, all his colleagues. And then person next to him was shot down. And then this devotee got scared. He doesn't know what to do. He picked this dead body and keeping it as a shield. And he was, dragging it all the way to the camp. And then as soon as he went to the camp, and then this person was, they called out for emergency medical team. And they said, they looked at this person, oh, you saved this person from the war. And the devotee doesn't know that actually, he was thinking he already dead. Using this person as a shield, he was going there. But that person, everyone is thinking, oh, this person is a very brave man, what a grave personality, then he is trying to save this person. And later on, this devotee revealed. Now, I was thinking I can do things, according to my wish, but there is always something, karmic situations, we are not control of any situation. So another thing is absorption in devotional service. So when we are doing any devotional activities, the question is how much sincerely we are doing these things. Even in the case of Yashoda, the Damodara pastime, Mother Yashoda was thinking, serving Krishna is more important. Actually, she was trying to boil the milk for him. At the same time, Krishna came, and then she was trying to feed him. But God doesn't see our efforts. God doesn't see our, how much we are struggling. And one time, many times in our chanting group, we have a chanting group in the morning time. Many times, people writes to us, oh, why, I'm struggling with this, XYZ problems. God doesn't, Krishna is not listening to our prayers. Oh, what's happening? I'm so sincerely chanting so many, so much duration. Then always we try to say, now, are you listening to your own chanting when you are chanting? No, you don't hear when you are chanting, but you expect to God, God to listen your prayers. We don't listen properly when we are chanting Hare Krishna mantra, but we say, oh God, why you are not listening to us? No, this is our motivation many times. Many years ago, when the Krishna Balram temple was construction going on in Vrindavan, devotees were so much absorbed in that construction site. Even devotees, Western devotees, Indian devotees, was doing all very basic works. Then what happened one day when they were the work is going on, one very auspicious day, there was one Brajvasi friend. He was calling out all the devotees and says, oh, today is a very auspicious day. I want to feed all the devotees, all the devotees who are serving at the construction site. And then he called out and everyone went there. And they started eating, all these sweets, Indian sweet, rasagulla, sandesh, barfi, all these sweets. And, they were so much relishing these sweets. And then when they are eating, and Srila Prabhupada's car was passing by. And they were thinking like, oh, what Prabhupada would answer, say to us. Prabhupada is our ISKCON founder. Say to us. Then the car passed by. And then devotees were thinking, Srila Prabhupada didn't see us, we are saved. And then after some moment, the car came return back. And then Prabhupada opened the door and looked at him. When you are eating prasadam, one rasagulla to the left, one other rasagulla to the right side, it's difficult to you can hide yourself. I know what do you mean by Rasagulla. Many of you, if you don't know, Rasagulla is actually, we call it like, our spiritual bullets. They are very, I hope somebody made it today. So, then devotees were like, little embarrassed. Our guru is here, we are not doing our service that was told to us, but, we are still, enjoying ourselves. But Srila Prabhupada looked at him, all these devotees, and, smiled at, he says, Bengali sweets are, essence for life. The Bengali sweets, whatever sweets, everyone was, so happy. Prabhupada didn't really say anything to us. And then after some years, the same Srila Prabhupada went to West Coast in America, and one of the devotee, there were book distribution was there. One of the devotee was the same there, with the book stand. And Srila Prabhupada, when he was passing by, I know that he picked the Rasagulla and showing it to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada, Bengali sweets are essential for life. And Srila Prabhupada picked the Srimad Bhagavatam, and Chaitanya Charitamrita says, this is real Bengali sweet. You're looking at the, showing at the Chaitanya Charitamrita. So sometimes our mood is always different when we are doing devotional service. And it's actually further says how the mood and concern should be about, when we are dealing with the Lord in different modes. We says, actually, the Lord has a different mood in different places. In its original place, we call it Vaikuntha Loka. When you go to Vaikuntha Loka, and the dealing between the devotees and Lord, actually we says actually Dasyaras in Sanskrit. In other instance, we says servitorship. Like, we serve the Lord. We actually with the awe and reverence. There is no actually pure love. In the same mood, when we go to Dwaraka, Dwaraka is the place in Krishna, actually he was ruling out for some years when he was manifested in this planet. In the Dwaraka Leela, all the rasas are actually, there are rasas, like, rasas means like relationships. What is the relationships, between, friends, wife and husband? All these relationships between Lord and the devotees are there, but actually with the formal, again the formal. There is no actual real essence. But when it's come to Vrindavan, Vrindavan is the place where Lord actually, he was performing so many pastimes in this earthly planet. So in Vrindavan, where all the rasas are with the Madhurya rasas. Madhurya is very intimate. Intimate means like, very close relationship with the Lord, where the devotees are exchanging in a full scale. Like one of the stories of Sridhama. Sridhama is Lord Krishna's friend. When Krishna was here, they all don't know. In one sense, actually, we say, in Srimad Bhagavatam, Sukadeva Goswami was asking Parikshit Maharaj, my dear Parikshit Maharaj, Sukadeva Goswami, sorry, when Vasudeva and Devaki has performed so much tapasya as a Vrishniya Sutapa in their previous life, they were praying for you to come to this planet, but you came as a Krishna, but you are giving more mercy to Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj, the foster parents, than the original parents. It is something like that. You chant Hare Krishna mantra, he will go back to Godhead. You work and then he will take the salary. It's actually, in one sense, we have to understand why is that happen in the Krishna Leela. In Acharya gives wonderful commentaries. The teacher gives wonderful commentaries. It says the mood between Krishna and the Vasudeva and Devaki, actually the mood is on reverence. Dasya rasa. Dasya rasa means when Krishna born, they saw, oh, this person is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As soon as somebody is like super higher power in front of you, you don't feel like you don't show your emotions, right? You don't you feel like, wow, you have some kind of respect for that. But when it's come to Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj, actually Yashoda, mother Yashoda, she doesn't know Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It says one of the incarnation, one of the Leelas, one of the avatars of Krishna, in Varaha Avatara, in his pore, one hair of Krishna, whole material oceans are actually taking rest place. But when it's come to Krishna Leela, Mother Yashoda was actually taking, bath with the, Krishna in the bucket of water, pouring on him. And she doesn't know. She's completely in the mode of ignorance in one sense. still thinking this naughty boy is my son. And exactly God wants that, our innocency and then our without duplicity. As long as we have that mode, God, get attracted to us. And that is a pure conditional, unconditional stage to love God. And then, when it's come to his friend in Krishna Leela, Sridhama was one of his close associates in Krishna Leela. And in always thinks, one time what happened, Krishna was telling to him when they were playing, all his boys, when they were going out, playing. And then Krishna says to him, you know what, if you want to win a war, because they used to play wrestling match in between. If you want to win any war, you have to be psychologically talk something so the opposite person will go down. So before even the war starts, Krishna says, you know what, I am the Supreme Personality of God here. Everyone was looking at him, Krishna, oh, this person is Supreme Personality of God. He is talking about, see the stupidity at the highest, They don't know about Krishna. And then they started playing the wrestling match. And always Krishna is the loser. When Krishna killed his uncle Kamsa, surprisingly, Sridhama went to that place, his friend. And he went there, and then he looked at it. If somebody is killing Kamsa, his uncle, that means he's not a Krishna. Because he's always thinking, my Krishna means somebody who always defeated me, by me. Sudama thinking. And then, just to prove that, Krishna doesn't want, what is that, these people suddenly change their consciousness to, thinking, oh, I am the Supreme Personality of God here. I am the Supreme God. And then that mood is completely devastated. And Krishna makes sure that, that eyes, when the, Damodara Leela, when mother was chasing him, Krishna was rubbing his eyes with his hands, he was trying to cry. So that mother thinks, actually, this is my Krishna. He is not a God. And he's showing his, emotion in his eyes. That's why we see, I came to West in 22 years back. I was always astonished to see why people have a goggles. Even when you go to funerals, even when the summer comes, why people have the goggles? I never understood. When you have, you see celebrities and obviously cricket stars, so they always have goggles in the eyes. Because eyes are the emotion parts. When you have goggles, you can close your emotions. You cannot show to the people in general. But here Krishna was trying to squeeze his eyes with they saying, oh, I'm a simple naughty boy in Vrindavan. So I'm not a supreme God. Even Sridhama defeated him again after this Kamsa hunting. And then again Sridhama came, oh, this person is Krishna for sure. He is not a God. Someone else killed Kamsa. And then comes another important mood, and then how we can attract the God with our devotion. Devotion should not be neglected. Our devotional service is chanting Hare Krishna mantra, and what is the Hare Krishna mantra? We chant for 2 hours every day. Devotional service also many things included, and we chant every day 2 hours Hare Krishna mantra as a practitioner devotee. And Hare Krishna mantra means, many have heard, they were singing and we will be singing again. This mantra means, oh my Lord, please engage me in your service, because I am your subordinate, you are my superior, so that, I can be getting that mood, serving mood will be coming. That is the meaning of Hare Krishna mantra. But, when the real service come, we says, please engage him. I'm not ready for this time now. Please engage that person. We say that. But that should not be the service mood. And then the final thing is study enthusiasm against Maya. Maya is something like illusion. We always think as we discussed, we are not the control, we are the controller, we are the enjoyer. That mood is always there. The moment we think we always forget about God's hands in every aspect. So when we try to do our services with the repeated enthusiasm in the association of the devotees, and then our efforts actually will be very successful in the case of Yashoda Maya. Because in the story of Damodara Leel, Yashoda Maya was trying to bind Krishna again and again. All the people, all the gopikas around Mother Yashoda was trying to give her feedback. My dear mother, it seems like today is not destiny by Krishna. They were not saying like, your efforts are Krishna efforts. They are saying looks like, it is not the destiny of Krishna that he is not binding by you. So therefore, Mother Yashoda, please stop your efforts. But Mother Yashoda didn't stop the efforts, and she tried to bind Krishna with a rope, whatever she is trying to collect from a neighborhood. And by collecting that, and she tried to bind the Krishna because he was doing so naughty things, thinking that, I can bind God. And every time she is binding with these ropes, there is always 2 inches shortage. Acharya says 1 inch is actually our effort. What is our effort? Whatever we are doing, we are going to temples, we are going to spiritual organizations. We are just thinking, there is, at least we have to come to the platform of accepting there is a superior authority, there is a supreme person behind us, and we have to accept that, and that is our effort. And then ultimately, God also reciprocate to our efforts, by giving whatever knowledge, through the devotees or by some other means. So this we have to be in the mood. So this Kartika month, we are having home programs regularly. We are almost, we have quite many programs booked. But still, if you want to have home programs at your house, we are a team of at least 10 devotees are ready, and we come to your house. We talk about little Krishna Katha and God consciousness Katha stories, and we actually do 1 round Hare Krishna mantra together with your guest. And we will also sing the Damodara Ashtakam, which is glorify the another verse, Sanskrit verses about God. And then we do the little, we encourage everyone to come and give the arati to the Krishna, little Krishna in this month. So if you inspired to these programs, please come to us, contact any of our devotees, and we are happy to come in this month. It will starting from Tuesday and then until 5th of November. So I think we will do 1 round Hare Krishna mantra.